Hello and welcome to the Streamline and Shine podcast. Our family virtual assistant agency's absolute passion is helping time-poor female entrepreneurs with those ridiculously long to-do lists, because we all know how they get longer instead of shorter. We're going to be covering topics from social media to marketing, systems and processes to outsourcing, and so much more, so that you can see what's possible for you and your business. Hello and welcome back to the Streamline and Shine podcast. And in this episode, I have another guest expert for you in the house. So Taylor Smith is the founder of Navia, which is an all-in-one software that will tell you exactly what you need to do for marketing your business every day. And Navia are on a mission to make marketing less scary, because let's face it, it can be sometimes. And
yes.
they want to make it a lot more fun for business owners. And believe it or not, Taylor has got more than 15 years experience in things like branding, strategy, and content creation. And how have you worked with thousands of clients? Like, that blew my mind.
Very busy. I know, honestly, it's crazy in my head too. I absolutely understand that.
So welcome, Taylor.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here in the chat today. It's going to be great fun.
Me too. I'm really geared up for this. So we were just having a chat. We've had a few chats, haven't we? But
yes.
Before we hit record, we were talking, and we've decided to do a mini series with you, haven't we?
Yes, we sure have. I can't wait.
I know. I'm so excited. So you're going to talk to us about all different aspects of marketing in this mini series. Yes. But today you're going to talk to us about what to focus on when marketing feels overwhelming. Yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I'll hand over to you and I'll ask questions along the way.
Yes, absolutely. So, I have been working with many clients over 15 years, which is very crazy to think about. And every time someone comes to me, it is because they're overwhelmed, they're confused. The world of marketing has so much noise out there. A lot of tools are very accessible. So naturally we jump to them and think, okay, I need to do Instagram for my business. And not only that, all of my friends are doing it for their businesses. Or I need to do Facebook. I need to start a new trend on TikTok. All of these things, because you're seeing that constantly over and over and over again. And it's confusing and it's overwhelming. And ultimately, a lot of the big foundational pieces are being missed that could actually set you up for success and get you a really clear workload that would give you a lot more clarity. So when I start with my clients, the first thing that we always get clear on is your why. Why are you having this product into the world? Why are you bringing this product to this audience? And what problem are you solving for the audience that you're trying to target? So that why message is so huge. And that is something that is very, very often skipped over, because we just think about the what. What are we selling? What are we offering? What is this product? And we talk about features. We talk, for instance, Navia is a marketing platform that makes marketing easy for small business owners. And that is what Navia does. But the why behind Navia is it gives you more time in your day so you can do things that actually matter to you. And that's why people want to use the product. It's not all of the fancy gadgets and tools and all those things. Those things help get the job done. But if you don't know the why, and if you don't know the problem you're solving for the customer, that can really affect how you go into the world of marketing. And it can make it very overwhelming. And then you add a lot of technology and tools. And so that is the main core element I like to start with my clients.
Yeah, so it's like stripping it right back to basics.
100%, kind of getting rid of all the fluff and getting right back to your why. The biggest thing I think that business owners stray away from because they're so overwhelmed is their passion. It's the energy that fueled them to start their business. And it's that reason, that drive that really wakes you up in the morning, that excitement. That kind of goes by the wayside when you're thinking about all of these things on your to-do list, which is a lot of times hours of marketing. You get sucked into that deep black hole of Instagram. You're staring at the screen. You write 30,000 captions. They all go into your draft folder. You say, I do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. Then the next tomorrow comes. Then the next tomorrow comes. We've all been there. I have been there myself.
100%. Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
I remember when I first started my business, like as a business owner 4.5 years ago, And I used to think I had to post every day. And it could take me 3 hours to do one post because I was new to the game. I knew how to use Instagram, but I didn't know about messaging. I didn't know about the graphics. I was learning Canva at the same time, like all of those things.
Totally.
And it used to take me ages, and that was alongside a full-time job. So things like that can just be relieved for you, I think are massive.
Yes, absolutely. And it's really when you get clear on your why and who you are working with, who is that target audience that you're trying to connect with, a lot of confusion, overwhelm naturally goes away. A really good example of this is when you know who your target audience is, you can actually meet them where they're at. So a lot of times, again, we jump to these platforms where we think we should post. The should word is the big S word that I always say, that we try to eliminate that from our vocabulary. Yes, it is a swear word, 100%. And when we kind of peel back the layers and we say, okay, where does my target audience spend their time? I can then promote my offerings on the platforms or in the places that they're spending time on. So for instance, if I was an interior designer, I wouldn't necessarily go and throw all of my offerings only on Instagram, only on Facebook. I might do that as supplemental brand awareness, but where I really want to focus is where they're already searching for home inspiration, color palettes, 100%. And so you want to go to the place where they're already spending their time so you can get to them quicker. These other kind of fluffy areas, yes, you can do them, but it's not allowing you to actually be really clear and connect with them in the most efficient way possible. So you're wasting time, you're wasting ad dollars if you're spending money on ads. It ultimately just adds, again, this overwhelm and confusion because you're not being really clear and concise on that pathway forward. So that why really just centers everything.
Yeah, and I think I remember someone saying to me, I think I said to them, business is hard, like being a business owner is hard. And she said, business is only as hard as you make it. And you just 100%. Reminded me of that. And I learned from that, just from one person saying it to me. But I do think at the same time that it's very easy to just continuously add to your to-do list. Like, I know people who have got lists of lists, like it's just, which is mental. And those people need a team. If you've got a list of lists, like you need help, serious help.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You need a VA, you need systems.
Exactly. But I do think that's very true, though, that you can make it a lot harder for yourself, like you say, by marketing in the wrong places.
Yes, the wrong places. And I feel like a lot of times I do business audits where I go in, I'll review your business, and then I'll give you a clear path forward. So I'll tell you what to fix and then give you a 90-day plan moving forward. So you know exactly what to do each day so that you can improve kind of what's going on. The biggest thing that I see is people talk about the what versus the how they're transforming their client's life. And again, kind of like I was saying earlier, there's a gentleman named Simon Sinek, and he has this whole book about the power of why, and it's an incredible book if you need one. And he discusses how Apple, for instance, they sell the transformation, they sell the lifestyle that you will have if you engage or purchase their products. It's kind of creating this dream persona of yourself. And then, think about it. When you want something and you close your eyes and you really think about it, you're imagining your future self in those shoes. So if you can paint that picture for your client, hey, this is what you get, and this is how your life will be transformed when you use my product or service, that instantly creates trust. The one other thing that I always try to do, it's an exercise with my clients, is we go back and I say, okay, what fueled you to start this? And then 99% of the time, it's usually because of an experience that person has had. So I try to take them back to that moment. I say, okay, how did you feel in that moment? Because the easiest person to market to is a previous version of yourself. Okay. And if you think about in that moment, how did I feel when I wanted this solution? With Navia, I've seen clients myself overwhelmed by marketing, not knowing what to do, not knowing which direction to take. And in that moment, you don't even know, again, what platforms to use because you're not clear on these foundational bits. Navia helps you get clear on those foundational bits. And so I used my personal experiences and the experiences I have with my clients to really drive that value home of, getting clear on your why, getting clear on who you're selling to, getting clear on, yes, what you're selling, but what's the story behind your product? Why did you launch it? What did you experience that motivated you to start this? And then allowing them to then embed that in their marketing. So it's quite simple, it's not, but it is, it's really, I think the biggest thing in business that we forget too is that it's all about it's so much to do with us as business owners as well. If we know who we are, if we're feeling good about ourselves, if we're feeling good about our future and kind of how we're aligned with the business, everything gets more clear because we're really clear on kind of what we stand for. And so much of, business is a lot of personal development too, when it comes down to it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've learned so much since I started my own business. And even a couple of weeks ago, I decided to strip things back to basics for us and think, right, who is our ideal client? And I wanted to work on whether we needed to niche, because I kind of rebelled. Because I thought, no, I don't want a niche. Like, fuck off.
100%,
I don't want to do that.
Totally. Yes,
But the thing is that I always think that with the business that we can help so many people, and it doesn't really matter what industry they're in, what they do, what they offer, as long as we can work from where we are and help them where they are, that's all that matters to us. So I did do a bit of work, and I decided I still don't need to niche. So, but it's good to review things like that every now and then, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think the idea of niching there's so many different ways to niche, and I feel like it has a bad rep because people think niching means one type of person. They have to be a certain age, live in a certain area, all of these things. That is just a way to filter one type of person to talk to. But you actually, for each offer, should have different kind of segments that you are marketing toward, but they can range in kind of, different filters is how I like to call them. And what it allows you to do is just be consistent with your messaging for how you're trying to sell that product in different scenarios. But every day is different in the world of business. And so it's about being consistent, but being adaptable and finding what works and finding those filters that you can adapt along the way. And maybe for you, it's adapting the industry, because you're saying, hey, we know that people who are overwhelmed, people who have to-do lists on to-do lists, people who don't use Google spreadsheets really need your services for, systems and organization, and your love of Google Sheets. That is everyone's nightmare a lot of times. So you can help them with that. And that is your niche. That is, know that those are your values that you can sell and connect with the user on. It's not necessarily an industry or an age range or a marital status. There's all these different kind of characteristics that I feel like kind of fall under this niche umbrella, and you're totally doing exactly what you should.
I think the demographic work for certain industries,
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, for someone like us, the demographics really don't matter. So as long as we can get login details and they know what they need, that's all we need from them. But I think for us, like especially with our messaging, it was learning about how to go deeper about their desires and their dreams and their goals and fears as well, their struggles and stuff. So that's the niching bit for me. I don't do the demographic stuff because it's shit to us. So
and you know what? I think you should really commend yourself for being able to figure that out for your business as well, because that's a massive. I think we're always trying to figure out what works, and that's really great. But it's just as important to figure out what doesn't work, because that's where you're wasting time. And if you're like, hey, demographics don't work for me, and that's not what's best for my business, that is a massive win. So that's huge that you were able to figure that out, because that just allows you to streamline. Hey, okay, now I know what variables are good that I need to match in and out. And then you can just align your different offerings to those different factors. Yeah,
exactly. Okay. So we know not to focus our energy in the wrong places where our ideal clients are hanging out rather than where they're not. So what else could we do if we're feeling a bit overwhelmed with marketing?
Yeah, totally. So I am a big proponent of setting goals, and I think you should work on one goal at a time. And I am a big fan of the method called the OKR method. So it's objective and then key result. There's lots of different ways that you can set goals, of course. The biggest thing that I always try to do, though, is set a start date and an end date and make sure that it's measurable. So there is a number, a quantitative number in there. So you're starting at 0 and then you want to get to 50 or whatever that is. Or, for instance, in Navia, we're setting up the strategies so that it's just meeting you where you're at, not necessarily based on your growth goals. So for instance, we help you just literally get consistent by posting on Instagram 5 days in a row. We help you with what to write. We help you write the content, and all you have to do is share it. So it's there's so many ways to write these goals and to create goals and so forth. But I think being realistic with where you are and thinking about, again, yourself personally, because there's so much of marketing that the personal self comes into, like imposter syndrome, feeling like no one's going to care about what you're saying. There's so many of my offerings out there. Who's going to even want my offering? All of these things. But the thing about it is, if you stay silent and stay quiet, no one's ever going to know. And think, you can read about so many businesses, so many sports athletes, so many people who have literally gotten knocked down more times than they've gotten up. But you see the successes and you see their fame. And so it's really hard to remember all of the hard times they may have gone through. So I think it's really good to kind of remember they're a human. I can do that too, because I'm also a human. And where am I today? Being really realistic with that and saying, okay, how do I feel? Do I get nervous to post on Instagram? Do I feel great about showing my face on Instagram? Do I get really excited to post on a different channel like Pinterest because I can, post different kinds of content that's not necessarily driven by likes and follows? It's really, seeing what feels good for you so that you can feel confident and want to continue doing that different task or doing that different initiative, but doing it aligned toward a goal that feels really, that's like something that is a stretch, but you can accomplish it. And it feels measurable, and it's something that you can be held accountable to, because that will be, a consistent way that you can just drive progress. It's about one step in front of the other, and sometimes that can feel really hard. So just being realistic with yourself on that, saying, hey, okay, this is what's going to feel good, and setting a goal that meets yourself where you're at is something that I really, really believe in as well.
So is that something that's part of Navia, is the goal setting, and it helps you work towards?
Yeah. So Navia is set up with OKRs, this objective key result model. And it sounds a lot more confusing than it is, but essentially it's, you're trying to achieve one big kind of umbrella goal, and the key results are the things that you'll do to get there. So how we have that set up is a goal, and then the key results are basically tasks that you'll do. So every strategy that you launch in Navia has a goal. You'll see the different tasks that you'll do in order to accomplish that goal. And then you'll have a timeline that goal is set towards. Okay. And you get to pick that timeline. Some strategies are longer, some are shorter, so you can pick what's best for you. But having kind of this repeatable process allows your mind to kind of feel secure too, because you're kind of setting a foundation subconsciously of your brain knowing what to expect. So then you can kind of just take the actions and know, okay, I'm going to get there. And these are just the easy kind of little stepping stones in order to do so.
Yeah. Okay. I'm excited to try this. I'm so excited.
I know. I can't wait for you to get in there next week. I love it.
Okay. So setting goals. I like that one. I do like that one, because I think,
do you set goals?
Like a lot of people are, they're quite focused on the monetary goals.
Yes.
And
100%.
Obviously money is what makes the world go round. We all want and need money. That's fine, and I get it. But there are other goals that you can be setting as well. So I think that's an important thing to remember, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. And it sounds so cliche, because it's like, okay, yeah, of course I need to set goals. But I challenge you to actually look and see if you've actually set a realistic goal for yourself in general. Because I know for myself, I'll say, oh, okay, I want to post on LinkedIn for 30 days, but then it doesn't feel anchored in I can just write it down, and I don't actually feel anchored to it. And if I don't really sit there and think on it, it just goes by the wayside, because it doesn't feel authentic. And so it's saying, okay, write this goal. I have a Post-it note on my computer of my focus for the week, and it is the best thing I ever do. I have my why, and then I have my focus for the week, always next to each other on my computer monitor. So I can just see it. I'm like, okay, yes, that's my reminder, because I do have ADHD. I know that I can have the shiny toy syndrome. I see, in today's world also, there's so many new tools and toys coming out, and I just want to play with them and all of these things. So a lot of times I'm saying, okay, Taylor, let's come back to what your focus is this week.
And I saw your stories about the Post-it notes. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, yes. I know. Honestly, this week, yes.
You should get shares in them.
Well, yes, I should. I totally should. I know. All the different colors and everything this week. Yes, too many Post-its. But I have said, okay, my goal for this week is to do all these things for launch. And so this morning I went and I actually ripped off about 4 of the Post-its from my desk. So that felt very good.
Yeah, very satisfying when you can do that. Extremely.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. How do you set goals for your business?
I'm probably not very good at setting goals, to be fair.
It's
so
hard.
This is where Navi is going to jump in and help me 100%.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I probably do what I just said everyone does, and that's the monetary goals. Because at the moment, with my situation of being made redundant and everything else, like that is forefront of everything at the moment. So it's the income from the business has to be a priority. Yeah. And until we've got that consistent income, it will be a priority. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I've set a goal for it, but it's just in my head. I know exactly what my goal is, like what our income goal is. And then once we reach that, or we get very close to it, then I'll be setting another one. But I think I need to make, you were saying about the umbrella goals. I think I need to make the sub goals and work towards it. So I've just started trying a new strategy. And I've got lots of podcasts coming out, obviously.
Exciting. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so and Threads is one of my big things at the moment. I just really enjoy being on there because it, like you see people selling, you're like, oh, okay. But if you see it on Instagram, you're like, oh, get lost. Like, why does it feel different? I don't understand.
Yes. I know honestly, every platform has its little persona. I totally agree. I feel like Threads is a place where you can organically connect with people. Just I feel like, it doesn't feel like there's pressure. I feel like you can actually show up as yourself too, without feeling like there's judgment. It doesn't have to have a strategy. It doesn't have to have this. No. It doesn't feel like there's expectations for yourself when you go on there. You feel like you can just post and you're just going to be accepted.
Yeah. And even, I'm sure there's an algorithm on there, but I don't care about what the algorithm thinks or what it shows me, because it's such an interesting platform. Like, it will show you a lot of people who you don't follow, granted.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's a better way to connect. Whereas the suggested posts and all of that kind of stuff on Instagram just get on my nerves because the algorithm hasn't got it right. Like I can see one thing, maybe like a star sign quote or something like that. And because I've shared it to my stories, it will show me 20 more, and I don't need to see that many. Like, you know what I mean? So whereas on Threads, the algorithm's there, but I'm more interested in what other people are doing on there because it just feels so laid back and chilled.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say then, use that as a part of your goal. Maybe it's posting more consistently on Threads, or maybe, you like connecting with people. So it's, I want to get 10 partnerships. I want to get 10 phone calls that I've driven through Threads over the next month. And, it could turn into anything, it could be a potential client, it could be a partnership. But I always encourage my clients to, when you're peeling back the layers and kind of coming back to these foundational basics, try things that feel good to you. Try things that feel motivating versus trying to stick yourself into the, oh, I should do this box. Because again, like I was saying, it makes consistency easier, and it aligns also kind of your messaging. It ties it back to your goal in an easy way versus having to track different metrics on different platforms, because they all obviously have different attribution models and all that crazy complexity too. So if it comes back to things that you enjoy doing too, that definitely helps with reducing overwhelm.
Yeah. See, I don't really, I've found myself that I've stopped doom scrolling on Instagram, probably because I love it as a platform for my business, but I've got better at recognising when I'm doom scrolling, so I just tend not to now. It's just become a habit that I don't, which is cool. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I can doom scroll on Threads for hours. It's like TikTok.
Yes,
TikTok. If I'm in a lazy mood, then I'm doom scrolling on TikTok, like I'm laying in bed or whatever. Yeah. And I even got one of those little scrolly things that you can put on your thumb. Have you seen those? You can put it on your
No.
finger. It's like a ring, and you can just push a
Oh,
button on it,
yes.
and you can scroll up and down. Love it.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's amazing.
They were like
The
a pound off
evolution of
TikTok.
our
So
that's incredible. Did you buy that off of TikTok?
I got it off TikTok Shop.
You
Yeah.
did? Yes, that's hilarious. That's amazing.
But
I
yeah,
love
so
it.
if I'm like laying in bed at night or something and I'm doom scrolling, it'll be TikTok. But during the day, I prefer to jump on threads and just see what's going on, like what's interesting me, what's making me laugh, you know, and just following
Powerful.
people. And that's how we met as well, because I put a
Exactly.
thread up, asked
Yes.
for a podcast guest, and I think
Yeah.
I got about 5 or 6 people, which is cool.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah,
And
I know.
podcast as well, because it's not grown yet.
Yeah. Yes. Keyword. Hey, you got consistency.
Exactly.
Honestly, consistency is the best thing. And I think a big thing too is to remember that, again, there's so many people now joining all of these channels, so many more thoughts and perspectives, and so many other things that are kind of just being shared about similar topics. So repeating your message over and over and over again is so important, so important. And people are like, oh, I said that yesterday. I said that the other day.
Doesn't matter.
It does not matter in the slightest. The person who saw it yesterday, if they're going to see it the next day, they probably won't remember that they saw it the day before. Or if they did, it's just reinforcing to them what you're selling. The biggest thing is your message is so important, and your message is in your head 24/7. It is in your target audience's head 0.1 seconds while they're scrolling. They see it, they might listen, they might read the captions, but their brain, as we all know, is in 10 other places, and they might just scroll by. And so as much as you can do to repeat your message, that is huge. And just remembering that, okay, the way the platforms work these days aren't in some chronological order where you have to, introduce yourself on one post and then share all these other things like that create this kind of chronological timeline like they were set up previously. It is all instantaneous storytelling now. And so what message you say one day needs to be said the next day and the next day and the next day, and almost having kind of a tagline or starting a series where you're jumping on and you're repeating, hey, this is day 5 of my Instagram challenge, and I'm going to show you how I'm overcoming imposter syndrome. And you're showing up and you're showing your face, and every day you're giving something to people to expect. And people love to expect things. People love to know, oh, okay, I get to see this. So if you kind of set up that repeatable process, that not only helps your customers, but makes your job a lot easier too, because you have just a template. You can just put your content in there and then just share it.
And like we said, we're all about making it easy.
Making it easy. Systems, baby.
Okay, so have you got any other tips for when we're feeling overwhelmed for marketing?
Yes, I every week have a big kind of like juicy, I call it my CEO hour, but I try to do it for more than an hour, but I make sure that there is at least an hour every week where I can dream big. I can have all of the, move the goals aside, move all of the kind of tactical things aside, but really think, okay, what do I want to do? Or have deep focus work and just dive into something that's really fun. Because I think we get away from the fun when we're just so focused on our to-do list and we're so focused on quantity over quality. And it's almost sometimes just putting things out there. And that just gets you so stirred up because you're not really even thinking. You're just moving and you're just going. And in our world moves so fast these days. Like our brains, I was reading this article recently about the evolution of our brains in short form videos and how it's affecting, attention and it's affecting just a lot of things in great ways and in negative ways, and just kind of how the world of social media is going. And it's so important to remember that your mind is the most important in your business, and just shutting everything off. I have this little, I can't remember the name of it, but an app that actually will shut off apps on my phone and basically blocks them. Yeah. And so, and just having intentional focus time is a really, really, really good way to get into deep thinking and using it however you want. I use some of my thinking time to do breath work a lot of days because that's how I come back to myself in my business. And I know that if my nervous system is feeling all over the place, it can feel really, really crazy. Another thing that I like to do at the beginning of the year during my CEO hours is I write a future letter to myself. I do this at the beginning of the year always, but I also do it with a big launch or, at the beginning of Navia, I just got out my journal and just wrote one. And I basically close my eyes I put myself in my shoes a year from now, 5 years from now, and then 10 years from now. And I write a letter to myself as if I'm in that moment, and I write about all the things that I've accomplished. I say, wow, Taylor, look at all that we've done over the past year. We've gotten 10,000 subscribers to Navia. We're reaching this in ARR. We have hiked all of these mountains. We've cooked these new meals. We've traveled to these places. And I basically write it as if I've done it and I'm in the seat of someone who's accomplished those goals. And I did this a couple years ago when my life turned upside down, and it was 2022 in the fall, and everything in my life took a 180. And I was just like, I have no idea which way to go with my business, with life, all of these things. And I sat down. I wasn't really big into journaling at the time, but something was pulling me to write a letter to my future self, and I had never done it before. I basically wrote out all of these things I wanted to do because I tried to see it as an opportunity. I have a fresh slate. I can do anything I want. And I wanted to learn how to sail. I wanted to learn how to meditate. I wanted to hike a new trail every week. I wanted to grow my business to certain levels. I wanted to learn new things. I wrote this beautiful long letter, and I put it in my journal, and I actually completely forgot about it. The next year, I was going back through my journal, and I was like, oh my God, this is that letter I wrote. I read through it, and I had done every single thing on that letter. I had learned new things. I did a hike each week. I bought a paddleboard. There were just all these random things that I had on this bucket list, and I wrote it in this letter, and I look back, and it was the coolest thing to reflect on it and see how much I had accomplished, and to see how many of those things I had done and how much they impacted me and who I am today. Yeah. So now I do it for everything. I do it for business. I do it for myself. And you can do it for any time increment too. There's no right or wrongs to this, but it's just a matter of you coming back to yourself and thinking about, what do I want versus what the world is telling me I need to do to be successful. I should do this. I should do that. It comes back to yourself, because if you're setting your goals off of what other people are doing or what all these other platforms are saying you should do or where you think you should be posting, it's going to be hard. It's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be exhausting. And you probably won't make progress in the way that you want because it doesn't feel authentic to yourself. Yeah. So writing this future letter to yourself, looking at what you wrote down. And also the biggest thing too, I should say, there's no judgment when you write this future letter. There's no erasing. It's you just write whatever comes out. You write the big dreamy numbers. You write the big lofty goals, because why not? Like truly, why not? And I think if you let your mind think it can do those things, then that's the true power. You have to convince your subconscious that it's possible, don't you? Absolutely. And I actually wrote a future letter to myself for the Lionsgate portal last week. Amazing. So, that was a powerful day.
On the 8th of August next year, I'll be opening that note and seeing how I've got on. So,
that's so
first time
exciting.
I've done it, but I'm not like a massive spiritual person or woo person or whatever you call it.
Me either. Yeah.
I'm not someone who actively goes seeking it, but I'm not someone that will like just turn a blind eye to it either. Like it interests me. But it's not something that's part of my daily life kind of thing. So when something feels that I could give it a go, or like when I had a situation at work a few months ago and I was writing a letter to the universe, and I just kept coming out here and I was saying it out loud every morning. And, like I've never done that before either. Yeah. But it turns out that everything worked out okay. So I
was going to say, how did it go?
Yeah. So it was fine. I more or less got what I needed to get out of the situation, and that was all I needed. So I felt better. And so that whether it was that or whether that was going to happen anyway, who knows? Yeah. So
it's just about mixing and trying and seeing if it works. Exactly. And if it feels comfortable, why not try it again? If it doesn't feel comfortable,
I mean,
just letting yourself kind of have fun.
See, I'm not a journaler. I hate journaling. Yeah. I can't get on with it. Totally. Like doing it every day just bores the absolute pants off me.
Oh, let me be clear. I am absolutely the same way. I am like, my journal is basically like bullet points of like, today I get inspired, and then I won't look at it for a while. And then some days, when I go to therapy, I'll kind of write down a lot of things. I'll feel inspired. Oh yeah. And I think I was always trying to fit myself into boxes and with business, with my personal self, with journaling, with, I should do meditation, I should do all these things. And when I released that pressure and I said, okay, I can just journal however I want. I don't have to do it daily for it to be successful. And I just do it for these future letters. I do it when I feel inspired. If I want to remember something personally about myself, I'll write it down. But I think just doing what feels good to you is the biggest thing.
Yeah. You know? I mean, I went to a friend's business event at the beginning of the year, and at the end there was a Reiki session and sound bath, and I love both of those.
Yes.
And at the end, the VIP ticket holders, obviously I was one because it was my friend's event, crystals, and they were like, they'd been cleansed so that they were ours, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we each had our own individual ones. And when I was doing my universe letter, I was holding it because it's an abundance crystal. So, and I've never really touched a crystal before, except for the one that my mum gave me for good luck on my driving test. I passed first time. That crystal came every time I had my 3 girls, and it stayed in my jewellery box otherwise. So it's, you know, it's just little things like that. Like, I'm not completely ignorant of it, but it's not something I can do every day.
Yeah. And I mean, that's, you know, and that's so special for your journey. And that's, you know, as long as it's unique to you and what fits with you, that's all that matters.
Feel right. I think if you force it, then it's just forced. And then it becomes, it means nothing then.
Yeah. And and truly that is what it comes to in business with marketing as well. It is truly coming back to the basics is number one, and coming back to what feels authentic and good for you, because there are millions of things that you can do with marketing, millions of things, and you can search for days. ChatGPT will give you 10,000 things today to do. Implementing them, going through all of the steps, it pulls you away from your core if it's not something that feels aligned to you. And so, you know, starting first with thinking, okay, what feels great? What do I love doing? What inspires me? What fuels me? You know, I love talking to people. I love doing outreach and finding partnerships and connecting with people and just,
I know.
Yes. And you know, it's just like such a beautiful thing. And I think too, you know, working in the 4 corners of this room where I'm with my thoughts.
I love that office, by the way.
Oh, thank you. My partner, he's a very talented carpenter. And
can you bring him when he comes home to England? Can you bring him an hour up the road for me?
Absolutely.
So he can sort out. I mean, this is quite new. I've only had it just over a year, which is fine. But I love those vibes. Oh yeah, that's what I've done at my friend's event actually.
Oh no way.
And it's the wallpaper on my PC as well. So
that's amazing.
So yeah, she stays there, and then I've got my Joe Jonas signed picture.
Oh, he's very important as well. Love the
obviously, there he is. Joe's on the podcast, everybody.
Oh, that's so good. I love it so much.
I'm manifesting him as well as everything. Yes. That's what I'm doing.
Oh my God, well, please keep me posted on that, because that's incredible.
Oh, don't you worry. I'll let the husband know as well.
Absolutely. I love it. That's so good. That's so good.
Okay, so we're talking about so we've done the goals, we've done the focusing in the right place, and we've done like maybe not necessarily journaling, but like getting your thoughts out of your head, and
like come back to what feels good to you.
And just realizing what is aligned with what you feel is right.
So,
any other tips?
Yeah, I think, you know, a more tactical marketing one, I would say, is with your why. I would say honing in on kind of this specific, I call it kind of like your rule of 3, like your specific offer, your specific audience, and then your specific platform. Yeah. So kind of taking everything that we just talked about and kind of making it tactical. Where do you want to show up? Who are you showing up with? And then what are you showing up with? And so where is the channel? Again, coming back to yourself and thinking about, where do I like to post? What feels authentic and good for me? And then also thinking about the channels that your audience hangs out on. So like we were saying about Pinterest for interior designers, doing an exercise, and Navia also helps you with this, of aligning, okay, where does my target audience hang out? Where do I like to post? Finding that synergy, maybe allowing yourself to grow and learn a new channel if it's really opposite of what you like to do. Just kind of seeing, okay, where does this mesh, or how do I kind of make this work? So there might be a little mixing and matching of channels, adjusting your target audience with the filters, like you were saying, and figuring out that perfect match. That will help you uncover kind of that why, and making sure that your messaging is really clear, because you do want to have that clarity of your audience and where they're hanging out, so you can make sure that alignment is there. You also want to make sure that that messaging is relayed on your offering page on your website, if it's in your link in bio, if you have a stand store, that that sell page is aligned. So that messaging that comes from your why. So why does your audience care about what you're selling? So not the what, but the why, conveying that on your platform. So where you're selling and kind of where you're physically having that conversion taking place. So the transaction, where's the user giving you their credit card or opting into your email list, making sure that that messaging is really clear, and aligning that through your audience, your offer, and then your channel. So I would say kind of that 3 pillar of your audience, channel, and offer is really, really, really important. And then ensuring that the messaging is across. That kind of foundation can really be laid when you're clear on yourself and how you bring the business into the world, what you like to do and don't like to do, your why, and then that distribution. And so it's kind of like this foundation. I always encourage people to come back to it, because it really reduces so much of the overwhelm and kind of peels back layers when you really get clear on those types of things.
Definitely. And that's exactly why I did what I did with our business a couple of weeks ago, because I thought, I'm not sure if there's disconnect somewhere. So if we strip it back to basics, then we'll find out if there is and where it is, But so I do think it's something that you can revisit, like, I don't know, every quarter, every other quarter. It should be done every now and then, though, definitely.
Absolutely. And I would say, I believe from data, from working with so many clients, you should always run something for 90 days minimally in order to actually measure results, especially if you're running ads. People start running ads and then change things 2 weeks later, and you want to just let them run as long as you can, because the data has to accrue, and you have to start getting buying patterns. You have to see what people are clicking on, what people aren't clicking on. And that's the same thing with just a strategy. You want to run it for at least 90 days and then start to analyze, see what you can adjust, maybe do some testing of 2 different formats of something, post a picture on Instagram with one caption, maybe a week later, post the same picture with a different caption, just start running some tests to see engagement. A big tool on Instagram, if that is your platform of choice, that people don't take advantage of enough, is trial reels. So trial reels are a magic tool. You can basically share all of this content to people who don't follow you as much as you want, and you can test it out. So you can put that out there. Your followers won't see it. If it flops in engagement, okay, I got to tweak this to see, what could perform better. Tweak it, post it again on trial reels. Maybe it skyrockets. Then you can share it with your followers, or maybe it gets a little bit more engagement, but it doesn't get enough. And you can just keep tweaking that and doing that on trial reels. And it only benefits you because people are still seeing your message, and they're your non-followers. So trial reels is a really awesome tool within Instagram that you can also use to kind of apply that kind of tactic.
I haven't tried the trial reels yet, because I don't even know why. We don't really post many reels, to be fair. We need to. But I do need to try the trial reels, definitely.
It's a nice little trick, and there's lots of, anytime a platform releases a new feature, I always encourage my clients to try it. It's usually
being pushed at that time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's being pushed, and usually that means that they're optimizing the algorithm for that new tool. And so if you use it, now Instagram came out with a repost.
We just got that yesterday.
Yeah. And so they're trying all these new things. So if you start to use those things to, again, no one will ever know what the algorithm actually is except for the CEO of that platform, usually. And so it's always a trial and error, but I always encourage clients to try it out, because that, if they're pushing it toward the users of the platform, most likely it's something that they're trying to optimize within the algorithm as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I do normally jump on the new features, but
Yeah.
trials, I was just like, oh, and then when it just gets forgotten because it's a busy
Yeah.
time, and then I
Yeah.
see it every now and then. I'm like, oh yeah, but I still haven't done anything with it. So
I know, I know. It's so easy to do that. And when I feel that overwhelm where there's just lots of things going on and kind of, like you're saying, I can completely resonate with that. And we want to try all the new things, not enough hours in the day. I actually have a note on my phone, and it is just a list of all of the things that I want to try. And in those CEO hours I was mentioning, or if I'm kind of not wanting to focus on my work and I have some time to try something new, I'll go into that list and see, oh, okay, what should I test out? Is there something on here that feels like it would be fun to do right now? And
yeah,
that's a really great way, because I forget a lot of things. I listen to so many podcasts and talk with people, and it's kind of nice just to have almost like a brain dump spot where I can just put ideas, put random thoughts, and then I can come back to them. And it's also inspiration too, because then I could use that, oh, that interested me then, maybe I could make content about that. Or maybe there's a way that, that tool, for instance, if it was the repost tool and I added it to my note, maybe 3 months from now it's this glowing must do tool. And by the time I see it, now it's really relevant. And it's like, oh, okay, great. I forgot that I wanted to check that out. So that notes app is my foundation, my home base a lot of times.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so is there anything else? Have you got any more tricks up your sleeve, Taylor?
I could talk let's see. I could talk tricks all day. When I think about when I'm overwhelmed, what I do is I take a break first. Sometimes I literally get up and go away from my computer. And I think that is so helpful, just to get a refresh and to step away. But when I come back and I sit down, the thing that I always come back to, and I know I've said this a couple times, but it's my why. It is my why, and it is what is my why, and what am I telling myself I need to actually do today? And what on that to-do list does not relate to my why? And a lot of times there's a lot of things that don't relate to my why. And it's a good filter, again, to kind of brush out the things that aren't important. But it allows you to prioritize. It allows you to, time block and actually get those things done, because they're the highest priority and they align directly with what you're trying to move forward on. And it aligns to your goal, So, okay, what is my focus? What's my goal? And just making sure that you're super, super streamlined. I think less is more. Less is always, always, always more. And the more that you can get clear on that direction ahead and aligning the tasks that you're doing on that direction, it will drive you towards success without a doubt.
Yeah. I think I've got so much better. I know I keep coming back to myself, but just to use me as an example, I had burnout twice before we started this business, me and the girls. The first was a couple of months in, and because I was working full time, we were kind of in and out of lockdown because it was January 21. And so I was either working full time or we were in lockdown, and I was just at a computer for 18 hours a day, whether it was at work or my business. And it didn't take long for me to hit burnout. And my business coach at the time said, take a day off. Don't open emails. Don't open Instagram, Facebook, nothing. Don't touch anything business related. And I actually done as I was told, which doesn't happen very often. And I came back feeling refreshed. So I'd obviously only just hit burnout at that point. And then I think it was the end of the following year, I had to take a couple of weeks off, and I just stopped. There was no, I didn't post any content. There was nothing scheduled. I didn't answer any messages, nothing. And it didn't bother me, which is how I know I was burnt out, because if I wasn't, I'd have been panicking. If I wasn't in the business, it was going to fall apart. So that's how I know when I got to the point. It's not that I didn't care, but I just whatever, what will be kind of thing. So and since then I've got so much better at taking a break when I need it. Being stuck in the shoffice, it's only a shed stroke office. So being stuck in here, it's lovely in the summer when I can have the door open and the doggies running in and out, that's fine. When it's chucking it down to rain and thundering, it's not as great. like, you know. So
Yes.
if I need to go and have an early night, I will have an early night. If I need to have a slower start in the morning, I will do that. And that has made the world of difference for me, because I've got so much more focus, and I've also got a lot more energy to put in, because I'm reserving I'm protecting my energy by not
absolutely
doing it. So I do think that's a really important one.
Oh yeah. And do you think that that's helped you kind of prevent yourself from getting into burnout again, is kind of taking these breaks and being
I mean, the situation I'm in now, like I say, with being made redundant, I could have easily gone all in, like worked all hours of the day and night to make sure that we've got that money in, but fuck that, like
no way.
I want to be here.
Right, yes, absolutely.
So yeah, that's definitely helped me. So I do think that is a big one.
And it's so hard to listen to ourselves. It's like, in our world, I struggle with that a lot, to listen to myself. And it's definitely the common theme when I go to therapy and I'm talking to my therapist. It's like, we've been working on it for years. And I started, I love tracking my progress and things. For me, that I need proof that I'm making progress. That's like a mental thing for myself. And I started an intuition tracker of all the times I didn't follow my intuition, and my intuition was correct because I wasn't listening to myself. And a lot of them came in business, where when I was, starting to make Navia, I would have ideas for how it should look and these functionalities and so forth. And I would start on the path that I was suggested by someone else. And not that it was a bad path by any means. And it was a great, great idea, but we would come full circle, and it would come back to the idea that I did not stand up for enough, and I didn't really believe in, or days where my body was saying, you need a rest. And like you're saying, I just pushed through, and I would not give myself that. And I would feel it. I would feel the immense just drowning of emotion and just sadness and depletion over things that are my fire, my sunshine, and the things that bring me so much light. And so coming back to yourself and finding those moments of, okay, like I don't have a ball and chain. I can get away from my desk for a bit. It is going to be okay. Reminding myself of that, because I understand it does feel like the world is going to shatter sometimes. Like, I can't do it. Like, this is so important. It's like very, very real. And then kind of just reminding yourself, like, no, I have to be number one so that my business can be number one. Like, if I'm not feeling good, everything is going to be reflected in my business.
Exactly. Yeah. Your energy is definitely like, what's the word? It's like, oh my God, why can't I think of the word? Like, what you feel inside is, like in your energy inside, it's like portrayed outside externally.
Oh, yes, like reflected.
It's so 100%. Easily done. And
absolutely.
I think it's really, you've got to be really careful with how you're feeling, because like if you've got desperation, or you've got, like you're feeling really down about something, you're worried, all of that is going to come out.
Oh my gosh,
no matter what you say, it'll come out.
No matter what you say, we're all humans at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like, we all have emotions.
There's nothing wrong with feeling like that.
We all go down. And like,
there's nothing wrong with feeling any of those ways, because it's part of the journey, and it's actually what makes you propel forward as well. So me and my oldest daughter, a little personal story here. Me and my oldest daughter, we were going to get a tattoo of an arrow, and I don't know if you've ever seen the quote that says about how an arrow can only go as far forward as far as it's pulled back, kind of thing. So we were going to get an arrow tattoo together. And then I got unwell, and I'm not allowed tattoos anymore, so she had to buy me a Pandora bracelet instead with an arrow.
That's good.
But yeah, that always reminds me of looking after yourself before anything else, whether it's your business or whatever it might be.
I love that. I remember that.
I just think that the more everyone calls them mistakes, but it's not, it's experience. So the more experience you have, the further you'll go.
There's no bad decision. It is all just a growth opportunity, and it's an opportunity to learn. I teach yoga on the side, and I always say this in my classes. It's not about why you fall down, but it's about how you get back up. And we're all just out here playing this game of life. Literally no one's an expert, no matter how long you've been in this world. If you talk to people, I remember my first corporate job that I worked in before I started my agency, I was told by an older colleague, this is the best business advice you'll ever get. Fake it till you make it. And I was like, what? And then you realize everyone out here is kind of just learning as they go.
Winging it.
You know, we're all winging it. And I think the more that you can connect with people on that and have that beginner mindset and say, I don't know this, and that's okay. You're not expected
you
to
can't know everything. Nobody knows everything.
And that'd be boring if you knew everything. Like, it's exciting to learn. It's exciting to connect with people like you, and I get to learn about what you do and learn about your obsession with Joe Jonas and your vision board and all of these amazing things that I get to
You
learn
haven't
from
got long enough for me to talk to you about them.
One day, over time, I'm committed.
Oh, we've digressed again, but it's fine. It's fine.
Know,
but yeah,
it's fine. It's all good.
It all is a big learning curve. Life is a big learning curve, and our business is a part of our lives. So it's all part of the experience. Yeah. So on that note, we have got to nearly an hour, which I think is our longest episode.
That's amazing. We probably could talk for 5 more. So
yeah. Just count yourselves lucky that we've only recorded an hour this time.
Yes, exactly.
But thank you so much. I really loved that.
Me too.
And I can't wait for the next few either. So we haven't really decided on an amount or anything yet. We're going to see how it goes. Just go with the flow. And I am really looking forward to the next one. But thank you for today, because it's helped me as well. So I know it's going to help the listeners.
Oh, amazing. Well, it helped me also. It's so helpful to hear different stories and perspectives, and to, connecting with people is the best way to learn. So I really appreciate being here, and thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Streamline and Shine. If you have questions on what we covered inside, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Bolton_virtual_solutions, or you can email us at teambolton@boltonvirtualsolutions.co.uk. We absolutely love hearing from our amazing community and are always here to support you. If you'd like to be interviewed on a future episode, please drop us an email letting us know which topic you'd like to speak about, and we'll get back to you. See you on the next episode, lovelies. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Streamline and Shine. If you have questions on what we covered inside, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Bolton_virtual_solutions, or you can email us at teambolton@boltonvirtualsolutions.co.uk. We absolutely love hearing from our amazing community and are always here to support you. If you'd like to be interviewed on a future episode, please drop us an email letting us know which topic you'd like to speak about, and we'll get back to you. See you on the next episode, lovelies.